We're here at the town hall with the infamous Mike Fanning, and we have questions for you, Mike. We need answers.
All right, bring it.
Yep. So what's an LSV anyway?
So a low-speed vehicle is a little bit stepped-up golf cart, and it has usually has some better safety features like seat belts and side view mirrors and maybe better brakes or something like that. But they go faster, and if they're registered as a low-speed vehicle through DMV, and it has a regular license plate as opposed to a golf cart sticker that you get for the DMV, and the low-speed vehicles can then operate at nighttime. They still have to be operated by somebody who has a driver's license and is over 16. But the big, the big difference is that they usually drive faster and that they can operate at night.
Gotcha. So the question about these was, what's the difference?
LSVs are not allowed in Pawleys Island
as
registered.
So we're going to go back in history about 8 years ago, and at that time, the state legislature, the way the state law was written, was municipalities, such as the town of Pawleys Island, which for a lot of people that don't realize it just covers from this side of the bridges to the ocean. So anything west of the bridges and the marsh is the unincorporated area of Pawleys Island. Mm-hmm. So the municipality had the ability to ban golf carts and LSVs, essentially. And then the state legislature changed the law, stating that towns and municipalities had to allow, if they have state roads, to allow golf carts on the state roads. But the low-speed vehicles were never incorporated into that law. So the town, when the town council took up the issue, they decided not to, allow low-speed vehicles because it was not mandated by law.
That makes sense.
And then the town had to figure out how we could regulate the golf carts, because unfortunately DMV does not have the ability to search through the decal, the little number that's on the decal, to search their database for registered owners. So we have a lot. It's become, over the past few years, so many golf carts on the island that and a lot of parking issues where we actually had to go out and get boots and boot vehicles until we can figure out who the registered owner was, rather than just put a number we could not reference the golf cart owner. So the town instituted their registration program, and you get the little round decal on the golf cart, and this allows the police officers to know that the golf cart's been registered through the town, and if there's a violation, we can verify who the registered owner is.
Well, that seems like a fair process. That's not unfair at all.
So when the state, actually, I guess it's been this way for even prior to when the state instituted that municipalities would have to allow golf carts, they also gave the town the ability to limit it from the 4 miles, which the unincorporated areas allow, to 2 miles. So the town opted to institute that 2 mile limit. Then the question was, is it line of sight or is it just roads?
Sure.
And then, if the south end parking lot is almost 2 miles from Blockade Drive, if you go by road, by road or by line of sight. So the town opted to do it from the town border. So we just measure it from the bridge, North Causeway, or the furthest bridge on the South Causeway, 2 miles line of sight per Google Maps usually, and that would be our circumference for the 2 mile radius.
Gotcha. Since I've been here, I've had 3 tickets on the island, and every single one of them were me being over the line with my tire by just a little bit. Is that a very common? What other common tickets do people get here on Memorial Day weekend? What other tickets do you see a lot?
So parking tickets are the vast majority of the summonses we issue. Blocking a fire hydrant, obstructing a driveway, parking on private property. We do get sometimes people just, I don't know whether they don't realize it's a driveway or they get frustrated and think the house is empty and park in somebody's driveway. 15 feet from any fire hydrant has to be. That's the state law. That's actually the national standard. So we have signs at most of the places where it could be questionable, just to remind people it's 15 feet from any fire hydrant.
How about speeding? You see that a lot?
We do. We try to be fair. Obviously our roads are very narrow, and we have a lot of people who are riding bicycles and jogging and walking with carriages and everything else. These electric bicycles have become, speed. they can go much faster than a regular bicycle.
Sure.
So that, there's a lot of different moving parts on these roads, and we try to keep everybody at a reasonable speed. Obviously there's a double yellow line in the middle of the road that if you were to go by the letter of the law, you'd be stuck behind a golf cart, or you'd be stuck behind a bicycle rider or somebody and not be able to cross over. So we allow people to cross over the center line as long as they do it safely.
I hate that you said that. Because now everyone's going to know that you can do.
Well, I mean, if we didn't allow that, it would be bottlenecked. I mean, it would be just crazy here.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you do it safely and you do it, at a low speed, everybody should be safe.
So that's a good question. So you talk about the golf carts like going slow through here. If you have a line of cars behind you, you should move over, right?
So it's not mandated, but it's highly recommended if you were driving a golf cart on the island, and most electric powered battery operated golf carts can only do 12 to 15 miles an hour. The gas ones obviously can go a little bit faster, but if you have vehicles stacked up behind you, the other thing is not all golf carts have rear view mirrors or the roof mirrors, but we recommend you get those just so you're familiar with everything going on around you, and just keep an eye on that and pull over to the right and allow cars to pass you safely.
Is there a specific place for golf carts to park?
In certain spots, South End parking lot, we have a section signed out just for golf carts. Can hold about 5 or 6 golf carts down there. Up at First, just south of First Street, in the dead end of Atlantic Avenue. We on the right-hand side, there's a very narrow right-of-way there that can really only, accommodate golf carts. So we have that signed out just for golf carts. Golf carts can park, wherever a vehicle can park, but if you're going to be parking in one of the beach accesses, see if you can get 2 golf carts in there rather than just taking up one spot with one golf cart.
Check if the golf cart spots are open.
Right, and utilize the golf cart spots.
Yeah. So park over to the side a little bit.
If you
so
can,
there's room for another one. Yeah, that's smart. Previous Memorial Day weekends, things to look out for our local residents here and people that are coming. Any advice for them?
Just to have patience. People sometimes coming that they've never been here before. They don't know exactly where they're going. They're working off of their GPS, and they may stop suddenly or make a sudden turn. So utilize caution. People who are driving, look out for the bicycle riders and the joggers and everything. If you are walking or jogging, we ask that you face traffic, that you run or walk opposite traffic, so this way you can see the vehicles coming, and the vehicles facing you that are driving towards you realize that you have that visual ability.
Gotcha.
If you are walking or riding, if you are walking with traffic, and usually most people do it with headphones, you've blocked out one of your sensory abilities, so that you won't see them or hear them. So that's why we ask that you face traffic. Bicycle riders have to follow the same traffic laws as vehicles, so you have to ride your bicycle with the flow of traffic. You're supposed to stop at stop signs, yield signs, and that type of thing. We have pedestrian crosswalks on Atlantic Avenue and down on Springs Avenue. Vehicles are required to stop let pedestrians cross, and that also allows for the speed, for speeders to slow down a little bit.
How about the tides? I know we got a northeast wind. The tides are super high right now this weekend.
Storm coming in.
Yeah. So I've never heard of a Memorial Day nor'easter before, but it looks like we're suiting up for one. The last weather I just looked at before, looking like 40+ mile an hour gusts on Saturday afternoon. The way the tide cycle is running this week is the higher tides are at nighttime, and the afternoon tides are going to be lower, but it's not a lot of differential between this moon cycle. So just keep an eye out for these northeast winds. Really drive the water up into the creek and does not allow the water to recede at low tide. So that water is stacked up in the creek, and when the next high tide comes in, it pushes it up into the roadway. Last week when we had that tidal inundation, it was up to the door at the old town hall, and it was all up and down Myrtle Avenue, and then it comes up through the drains at Springs and Pritchard, and we had 3 cars that I know of had to get towed off the island that they drove through and they got stalled out, and that salt water will just decimate your electrical system in your car.
You don't want to drive through running water from the creek at all.
No, I mean it's literally driving in the ocean.
Yeah, yeah.
So your anything metal is going to get corroded. Has the potential to be corroded. Your brakes are going to get affected, and it won't happen immediately, but down the road you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, golf carts will catch on fire too.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions, Sean? We have for the chief. Chief Fanning, thank you so much for doing this.
I think maybe it's just important to reiterate that you have to have a decal, like you have to be registered, because I know people that...
So just the registration process, the town clerk has set it up online. So if you are planning on registering your golf cart, go online to our website, townofpi.com or townofpawleysisland.com. I think they're both registered. And you'll see a link for forms. There might actually be a link now for golf carts. That was a suggestion, but there'll be a link for forms, and then you can fill out your golf cart registration form. It also allows you to submit your registration from DMV and your insurance online, and he will review the documents.
Gotcha.
And then send you an email back letting you know that the decal's ready. And it's usually a one-day turnaround.
So if someone buys a brand new golf cart from Riptide Rides and they're ready to go,
Nice plug.
It is true. It's true. I mean, they're the best. They're the best of the beach, and so they get a brand new golf cart. They're coming right from. They can't just come over here and ride it. They have to register, just like you said. So that's
be registered as a golf cart, not an...
So first they have to, and I'm assuming if they go through a dealership that they assist them in registering with DMV, but it has to be registered with DMV first before it can be registered at the town.
Another reason to go to Riptide Rides. Hey, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Mike Fanning, you're a great friend for life. We appreciate you so much. Pawleys Island peeps, we are so lucky to have such an outstanding chief. Chief Fanning, you're quite a man. We appreciate you.